Good morning. Diane here. Today is Wednesday, July 23, 2025. I'll be reading the New Bedford Standard Times for you today. And let's start with the AccuWeather for this week. Today, it's partly sunny and pleasant again. 79 for a high, 66 for the low. For Thursday, partly sunny and breezy, a little more humid, 84 high, 72 low. Friday, humid, breezy in the afternoon, a high of 88, a low of 71. Saturday, it'll be a high of 85 and some thunderstorms around in the afternoon and a low of 64. For Sunday, it'll be mostly cloudy and humid again, high of 82, low of 68. And that's the AccuWeather for this week. Our first article in the Standard Times front page headline: Mayor proposes fire station brownouts. This is an article written by Matthew Ferreira for the Standard Times. New Bedford. As Mayor John Mitchell and the New Bedford City Council go through the fiscal year 2026 budget process, a July 11 press release sent out by Mitchell's office listed a number of, quote, austerity measures, close quote, in response to the council's proposed cuts presented on June 17, including the potential, quote, browning out, close quote, of city fire stations as a result of the council's cuts to overtime in the fire department. At a time when fire preparedness is a prevalent topic on the South Coast, following the deadly July 13 Gabriel House fire in Fall River, the Standard Times asked Mitchell's office to explain more about what the potential brownouts could mean for the city and the department. What does it mean to brown out a fire station? According to New Bedford Public Information Officer John Darling, a fire department brownout is defined as, quote, the removal of a fire company from service during a particular shift. Between 6 active fire stations, as listed on the city's website, Fire Chief Brian Medeiros says NBFD has a total of 9 companies staffed with 4 personnel each and 2 district chiefs on duty 24 hours a day. In this file photo, a firefighter walks past the entrance to Fire Station 2, 868 Pleasant Street, New Bedford. In response to City Council's proposed FY 2026 budget cuts, Mayor John Mitchell has announced a number of austerity measures, including potential fire station brownouts, to mitigate a reduction in firefighter overtime funds. Why did Mayor John Mitchell propose fire station brownouts? The July 11 press release from Mitchell's office, headlined Mayor Announces Austerity Measures Triggered by City Council's Budget Cuts, outlined that in May, Mitchell presented an FY 2026 budget that reflected a conservative fiscal approach in which material increases in spending were limited to areas over which the city had little or no legal discretion to reduce. The press release contends that by voting on 448 cuts to the mayor's budget in one night, out of the 1,309 cuts proposed on June 23, the council effectively foreclosed the possibility of meaningful deliberations, much less consultation with the administration or the public about the real world implication of these cuts. In the end, the council's reductions totaled $10.2 million across an array of items in the city's general fund and enterprise funds, the press release said. According to Darling, among the cuts are several affecting NBFD. $300,000 from the account used to pay for overtime, $10,333 from the amount used to pay for mandatory testing of its breathing air cylinders, and $5,031 from the amount used to pay for replacement radio batteries, totaling $315,364. How would fire station brownouts save money? Brownouts generate budgetary savings by helping reduce department overtime costs, not through the elimination of positions, Darling wrote via email. Brownouts could be implemented on a rotating basis across the department's 9 fire companies, or could be used to prevent overtime costs that are triggered when a company is not able to fully staff a shift because some assigned personnel are out on sick or vacation leave. Both approaches have been adopted at various times in the past decade. When might fire station brownout measures move forward? Currently, there is no set timeline by which fire station brownouts may be enacted or discussed, Darling said, noting that they remain an option on the table to potentially help address the city council's slashing of $10.2 million from the administration's proposed FY26 budget last month. Procedurally, Darling said Mitchell would not require City Council approval to enact fire station brownouts. Headline: 24 Hours of Live Art. This is an article written for the Standard Times by Seth Chitwood. On July 12, New Bedford artist Mason Terra undertook a unique performance art piece inside the lobby of Crow Creative on Union Street. For 24 hours, the artist isolated himself inside a transparent box, drawing artwork from written prompts submitted by visitors and online participants. Tara said the act was about the interest in the intersection of human creativity and artificial intelligence, turning the common pattern of AI image generation on its head by inviting people to prompt a real human artist. I wanted people to experience what it means to prompt a person, not just a machine, Tara said. It was sort of like a take on AI image generation, but with real hands and drawings from my own memory and imagination. Inside the clear box, Tara had no food or water except what audience members provided. He never left the enclosure for the full 24 hours, including using bottles to use for the bathroom. Around 70 people attended in person, with more than 200 visitors tuning in throughout the day during the live stream. It was complete isolation. I did not interact with anyone. People would tap on the box, call my name. I just focused on drawing and did not acknowledge anyone, he said. Tara said he began planning the performance in February 2025, developing the concept and building the box with the help of his father and friends. He also said he prepared for the emotional and physical challenges of the event. He said he hopes the performance will spark conversation about the growing presence of AI in art. AI is here to stay. Rather than resist it, I wanted to challenge people to think about it differently, to work with it and see where it can take our creativity, he said, finding his love for art during the pandemic. The journey toward becoming a professional artist accelerated only a few years ago. I have been drawing my whole life, but never really took it seriously until a little bit before the pandemic, Tara said. But the pandemic really propelled me to start creating more with all this time that I had. Originally studying archaeology at Bridgewater, he said the pandemic shifted his focus into the art world when he had to take classes online. The more and more I learned about art, I wanted to take it a bit more seriously. So I switched over my major at Bridgewater, he said. He said he is most thankful to his professor and mentor, Colin Asmus, who suggested he go study in Italy, in which he learned Italian Renaissance techniques. After graduating, Tara began holding solo gallery shows, including one last summer at Kilburn Mill in New Bedford. After I got that studio at Co-Creative, I was really able to pump out artworks and ideas and drawings and just full creative freedom to just make whatever I wanted, he said. He would do the performance piece again. Tara said he is thankful for everyone who supported the performance, from his team of friends and family to the New Bedford arts scene and Co-Creative. It truly was not just me. This was a team effort. I am just very grateful to everyone who contributed and came to see the show, he said. While he will be taking a well-earned break and resting his hand, Tara hopes this will not be his last performance art event. He is open to bringing similar works to other galleries in the future. I'm open to any galleries that want to host the performance. I'm absolutely in the box there, and I'll set my stuff up if they'd like, he added. Headline: New Bedford man sentenced to 18 to 20 years for child rape. This is an article written for the Standard Times by USA Today Network. Fall River. A 34-year-old New Bedford man was sentenced to 18 to 20 years in state prison on child rape charges following a jury trial in Fall River Superior Court. Bristol Court District Attorney Thomas M. Quinn III announced that 34-year-old Mark Ribeiro of New Bedford was convicted on July 17 of 2 counts of aggravated rape of a child with a 5-year age difference, indecent assault, and battery on a child under 14, and assault to rape, according to a press release. Ribeiro was sentenced on the same day, and his 18 to 20-year sentence will be followed by 5 years of probation. This case stems from the defendant's conduct between July of 2015 and July of 2019 against a young child who the defendant knew personally, according to the release. On various dates between July of 2015 and July 2019, the defendant sexually assaulted and raped the victim. The victim disclosed the abuse to her health teacher. In 2023, after a lesson in health class regarding child abuse, the victim disclosed to her health teacher the previous abuse that she had endured. This highlights the importance of these educational programs in our local school systems and the role of mandated reporters, according to the release. The case was prosecuted by Assistant District Attorneys Jennifer Capigna and Sylvia Rudman. The defendant took advantage of his access to this young victim and repeatedly raped and abused her between the ages of 5 and 7. This conduct committed against a very young and innocent victim is repulsive and warrants a lengthy prison sentence. I commend the victim for her perseverance during this very difficult ordeal, Quinn said. Local laundromat to host Free Laundry Day. This is an article written by Faith Harrington for the Standard Times. Everyone's least favorite chore, laundry. Laundry can especially become overwhelming if you don't have a washer and dryer at home to clean your clothes. With nearly 20% of Americans lacking access to these resources, many people rely on laundromats or hand washing. A Dartmouth laundromat is giving back to those in need by providing a privilege often taken for granted: clean clothes. Dash laundromat owners Jason Arajo and Mike Souza are hosting their third annual Free Laundry Day as a way to give back to the community. Their first Free Laundry Day opened their eyes to the significant need for this type of community event. Quote, a mother who came up to us with tears in her eyes saying she had been washing their clothes in the bathtub and how happy she was to have clean clothes again, said Arajo in a previous Standard Time article. Quote, that's why we do it, close quote. When is Free Laundry Day? Coinciding with the grand opening of a second Dash laundromat location, Free Laundry Day will take place from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. on Sunday, July 27. With over 100 washers and dryers combined at both their original location at One State Road in Dartmouth and the new location at 124 Rodney French Boulevard in New Bedford, there will be plenty of machines to handle even the largest piles of laundry. It's the perfect time to wash large comforters, extra linens, and laundry that you haven't had the opportunity to do yet. We are trying to do whatever we can to give back to the community that has helped us grow as a business, said Araju in the article. I can't wait to see you all. Along with providing this complimentary service, the day is also a community celebration featuring exciting prizes, surprise giveaways, and delicious food. Headline, Montigny, longer look at assisted living needed after Fall River fire. After hearing from advocates who serve as the direct voice of residents, there is no question that the Commission must take more time to ensure such a tragedy never happens again. Anything short of that will not be acceptable. State Senator Mark Montigny, Democrat, New Bedford. Boston. State Senator Mark Montigny, Democrat from New Bedford, will ask the Massachusetts Assisted Living Commission to extend its reporting deadline to the legislature by a minimum of 90 days in the wake of the tragic fire at the Fall River Gabriel House that claimed the lives of 10 residents. The commission was created by legislation in 2023 to examine health and safety standards in assisted living facilities. It was supposed to issue a report and recommendations, including any proposed legislation, by August 1. Montigny, author and lead legislative sponsor of the Massachusetts Assisted Living Commission, met with resident advocates over the past week and heard a unanimous agreement the Commission must extend its work beyond the August 1 deadline originally set by the legislature. According to the press release, and sure, such a tragedy will never happen again. Quote, After hearing from advocates who serve as the direct voice of residents, there is no question that the Commission must take more time to ensure such a tragedy never happens again, close quote, said Montigny. Anything short of that will not be acceptable. The next Commission meeting is scheduled for July 23 at 10:30 a.m. Additional information can be accessed online at Assisted Living Residences Commission at mass.gov. Headline: Prices of popular menu items up in June. Study: coffee, beer, burgers top the list. This is an article written by Betty Lynn Fisher for USA Today. That dinner out for the family or your next date night meal might cost a little more, according to the latest look at June menu price changes calculated by digital technology platform Toast. According to the June Menu Price Monitor, menu prices of some popular items remain higher than a year ago. For the month of June, the median price of a premium cup of coffee, cold brew, beer, and a burger have all crept up. Two items on the menu are slightly cheaper: burritos and wings. The median price of a cup of regular coffee remained unchanged from May, according to the survey. As restaurants try to navigate the current climate, inflation and rising costs are top of mind. Brian Krober, principal of brand journalism and news at Toast, told USA Today. Restaurants are utilizing various strategies to deal with inflation, Krober said, including increasing prices, conducting profit analysis, adjusting food suppliers, tracking ingredient costs, and managing inventory. Consumers spent more at restaurants than at grocery stores over the past several months, according to a new analysis and report by the Bank of America Institute. Grocery spending has lagged restaurant spending since March and is up 1% year over year in June, compared with 2.1% in 2024. According to aggregated credit card and debit card data from Bank of America. However, in contrast to the spending data, when consumers were asked what they had done recently to reduce expenses, they said they were cutting spending at restaurants. Bank of America aggregated data shows households increased their spending at full-service restaurants and also how often they dined out in June. Quote, looking across Bank of America card data, we see households made fewer trips to quick service restaurants and increased the number of transactions at full-service casual dining spots in June on a year-over-year growth basis, the report said. Additionally, the spending growth per transaction for lower-income households was greater than other income levels at both limited and full-service dining, the report said. But the growth in the number of transactions was much lower in June, suggesting the first pullback in spending could come in the number of trips, but not necessarily the money spent, the report said. Zucchini bread with pizzazz. I was fiddling around in the vegetable garden and found 2 zucchinis, too large for stuffing, but perfect for zucchini pineapple bread and zucchini blueberry bread. The zucchini pineapple bread contains crushed pineapple. If you have tidbits or chunks, mash fine. Blueberry zucchini loaves include fresh blueberries. If using frozen, don't thaw. They may bleed too much when baking. Zucchini pineapple bread. 3 cups flour, 1.5 teaspoons baking powder, 1.5 teaspoons baking soda, 3/4 teaspoons salt, 1.5 to 3 cups sugar, 1 cup oil, 4 eggs lightly beaten, 1 tablespoon vanilla, 1/3 teaspoon cinnamon, 3/4 teaspoons nutmeg, which is optional, 2 cups of grated zucchini, peeled and unpeeled, drained a bit, and measured after peeling. An 8-ounce can of crushed pineapple drained. Save the juice if you want a pineapple glaze. Optional. Coarse sugar if you're not glazing. To make the bread, preheat your oven to 350. Spray 2 loaf pans. Whisk the flour, baking powder, soda, and salt in a bowl. Separately, beat the sugar, oil, eggs, vanilla, sugar, cinnamon, and nutmeg together. Stir in the zucchini and pineapple into the egg sugar mixture, and then stir in the flour mixture. Don't overmix. Pour it into pans. If you like, sprinkle with a bit of coarse sugar. Don't do this if you glaze loaves later. Bake until toothpick inserted into center comes out clean, 50 to 60 minutes. Cool in pans for 20 minutes. If necessary, run the knife around the edges before removing. Continue cooling on a rack and glaze if desired. To make the pineapple glaze, whisk together 2 cups of confectioner's sugar with 3 to 4 tablespoons of pineapple juice. If you don't have enough juice, sub in water. Drizzle on after cooling. You can also make mini zucchini blueberry loaves. 4 cups of sugar, 1 cup oil, 3 eggs lightly beaten, 1 tablespoon of vanilla, 2 cups grated zucchini, peeled or unpeeled, drained a bit and measure after peeling, 3 cups flour, 2 teaspoons cinnamon, 3/4 teaspoon salt, 1 teaspoon baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon baking soda, and 2 cups fresh or frozen unthawed blueberries. Coarse sugar if you're not glazing. The mini loaves. Preheat your oven to 350. Spray 4 mini loaf pans. Beat sugar, oil, eggs, and vanilla together. Stir in zucchini. Separately whisk together flour, cinnamon, salt, baking powder, and soda. Fold the blueberries into the flour mixture. Stir the flour mixture into the zucchini mixture. Don't overmix. And pour into prepared pans. And that's the news today from the New Bedford Standard Times. This is Diane signing off, Wednesday, July 23. Until next week.